Barker Cast. Breaking news from the Reef.
All right, well, welcome. It's episode 324 of the Clive Barker podcast. This is a news episode, and we're kind of squeezing this one in here in the last minute because there's some big news, right?
Yeah, so apparently they released the cast for Spyglass Media Group and Hulu's project of the Hellraiser movie. So Jamie Clayton, she's going to be the new Pinhead. She played in the L Word, Generation Q, and Sense 8. So she's going to be a gender bend, what they are calling a gender bend Pinhead. But of course, looking at the Hellbound Heart, they were androgynous to begin with, right?
Yeah, well, I think especially the Pinhead character. It's interesting. All of those shows that she's been in are things that I haven't seen. But the actress herself, she's got an Instagram photo of her sitting on some steps and holding a puzzle box as kind of a teaser of this news.
Yes, you get to see the box that they're going to use for the movie, for the new Hellraiser. It's pretty exciting.
Yeah. I mean, pretty sure that's what that is, and it's not just a box that she got somewhere.
Right? No.
Yeah.
There's another picture with a more detailed close-up. She's holding it with both hands.
Oh, really?
And it's not on Instagram, but I've seen it. It looks like a really cool-looking box.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. And
Got to find a picture of that.
And then actually another really big part of this news is that Clive Barker also kind of talked about being involved with it. That the filming is over and he's come on as an executive producer, and he's talked about he's excited about how they honor the original film, but they're also kind of taking it, making it for a new generation, and he's excited about it. So I think it looks like it's got a decent budget. It's probably got some cool ideas. We don't know. Cast looks okay, I guess. I mean, I'm excited to see what they do with it. I wish it wasn't on Hulu, because then it'll probably never come out on a Blu-ray.
Well, I don't know. I mean, being a movie, maybe they will release it on Blu-ray, but don't quote me on that. I said it's not like a TV show or anything.
Well,
sometimes
but the Books of Blood, right, is our
I think
we have to judge it on.
Do you know? So it's going to be exclusive on Hulu, right? They're not going to do a theatrical release of this.
I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so.
Okay.
But the Books of Blood movie had a pretty decent budget. I mean, it looked like a well-made movie, and we've got a good director here. I liked The Ritual.
Yeah. So it seems like the complete news here says that not only is Jamie Clayton going to be the Pinhead, the new Hell Priest. Like you said, Clyde Barker joined the production recently, especially after the news that he's going to get the rights to the Hellraiser franchise back in December 21st or something of this year. And then it says, rounding out the cast are Brandon Flynn from 13 Reasons Why and Ratched, Goran Viznick from The Boys, the Amazon Prime show The Boys, and ER, Drew Starkey from The Outer Banks and Love, Simon, Adam Faison from Everything's Gonna Be Okay, Into the Dark, Oifi Hines from Normal People, Selena Lowe, and Hayam Abbas from the Blade Runner 2049 movie. Oh. And also boarding as producer is going to be Mark Toberoff, who joins, says here, Phantom 4's David S. Goyer and Keith Levine, along with Clyde Barker. Bruckner is helming off a script by Ben Collins and Luke Piotrowski, from the Nighthouse, with story by David S. Goyer. So that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, and a lot of people have said good things about the Nighthouse, but I still haven't seen it.
Clyde Barker also said something about this upcoming Hulu movie.
Right.
Let's see if I can find that on the notes.
It's in the very first one there, the Variety article.
Oh, cool. So let's open that up. It seems like he said, having seen some of the designs from David Bruckner's new Hellraiser film, they pay homage to what the first film created, but then take it to places it's never been before, Barker said in a statement. This is Hellraiser on a scale that I simply didn't expect. David and his team are steeped in the story's mythology, but what excites me is their desire to honor the original, even as they revolutionize it for a new generation. So, wow, that's a good praise coming directly from Clyde Barker.
Yeah, and it's nice because so far he hasn't said anything about this production at all. He's talked about the TV series with HBO in the past, and just that he was excited about it. Not no details, but
yeah, that was before he joined as producer. So
yeah. So
our cup runneth over with the Hellraiser projects, right? A movie and a TV show, both on streaming platforms and HBO, which has always done very high quality stuff. And David Bruckner making the Hulu movie, which, he's been involved in a lot of good movies as well. So really stoked about this.
Yeah, and it's easy for people to get confused. I've noticed like people posting like, "Hey, look, check out this news about the new TV series," and I have to go, "No, the TV series is on HBO. This is the movie that's on Hulu."
That's really frustrating. That's been a source of frustration. The confusion that's been going around this, and they're saying this was written by the guy who's doing the TV show, and the people saying that this is going to be the TV show, and it's like, no, people, there's two projects, like you said, and also the knee-jerk reactions of some fans. I'm not going to mention that because I don't have to educate people. I don't have to educate them in what the Hellbound Heart is or the original Hellraiser or whatever. But it's like some people really need to go and chill out and read the Hellbound Heart and just understand, why this is being why we have a woman playing Pinhead right now. Because when you go to the Hellbound Heart, okay, and I said I'm not going to educate, but I have to bring this up because I see another confusion that people are saying, oh, in the book, the Pinhead is the lady that appears sitting on a pile of heads. And it's like, no, it's not.
And I appreciate that they're halfway there, right? I appreciate that they're trying to educate the all of the misogynistic kind of stuff.
Yeah, the ones say, "Oh, Hellraiser is going woke, and this gender swapping needs to stop."
God. Yeah,
whatever. Okay, but the only thing I want to bring up is this: there's 4 Cenobites in the Hellbound Heart novella. One that appears and talks to Frank and says, "What city is this?" Then another one, a second one, who has the excited voice of a breathy voice of an excited girl, who has the bejeweled pins and the symmetric grid pattern on all over the face and tongue. That is the one that is the inspiration for Pinhead.
Yeah.
And then there's a third one that has like his face is all ballooned and deformed by wounds and, that you can barely see his eyes and his mouth is disfigured, which I think is the inspiration for the Chatter Cenobite.
Yes.
And then after Frank has that big experience where he experiences all the heightened senses and all that stuff that makes him go over the edge, and he wants for it to stop, and he releases himself on the floorboards and passes out. When he wakes up, it's the 4th Cenobite, the one that never spoke. And it's a woman, and she has the rotting pile of heads that she's sitting on, and she has the scarification on her labia, and she says, "You're awake. Now we can begin." Which I'm kind of wondering if that's the engineer, but the engineer is really the guy with a cone-shaped head that's on fire. So this is just a 4th Cenobite.
Yeah, and so... and there are Clive Barker fans, and there are Hellraiser fans, and there's a Venn diagram that they meet a little bit. But I think that there's a lot of people that haven't read the book, and are just...
that's true.
They're just like, no Doug Bradley, no Pinhead or whatever, and it's not that simple. I mean, I think Hellraiser has proven through the comics and stuff to be something that's versatile. Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I would love to see Doug Bradley reprise the role of Pinhead, especially now that he's getting a little older. Yeah. I think that would really add to the character. But at the same time, I'm totally on board with this because, hey, I don't know what Doug Bradley's ideas are. I don't know if he wants to be the Pinhead again. I don't know if at this time he has different plans. I guess we would have to ask him about that. But the fact that this project is a new thing, and I think... in its way, they created a new box, which you can see in the pictures where Jamie Clayton is holding it. The box looks interesting. It looks very inspired on the actual original box. If you look at it, there's only one kind of like panel being shown at the camera, but that one panel, and Jamie Clayton posted a picture on Instagram, like you said, sitting on some steps in the trailer. during the shot that already wrapped in Serbia. Was that one? Yeah, it was Serbia. And then there's another one she posted on Twitter where she taglined it with demons to some, angels to others, at Hulu, #Hellraiser, where she's holding the box in a more close-up thing to the camera. And you can see that a part of the central...
oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
I thought it was a much simpler design, but it's really not. I mean, now that we're seeing it close up. Yeah,
so... You see that kind of cross pattern with like these ridges, and then the central part has a little circle, which looks like the button that you press to make it go into the raise position when the box opens up, raises, goes back and forth, goes back down.
And on the top, you can barely see it, but it has the larger circle.
Larger circle.
Recognize from the
and on the face fronting panel in the photo, some of the panels in the center that seemed like they will the corners will rotate maybe, and the inside of that panel has a lot of familiarity to the Simon Saysy design, doesn't it, with those squiggles?
And it's interesting. It's kind of a microcosm maybe for the movie itself, right? Because if it pays homage to the original, but it's also new.
So it's familiar enough that people will be happy to see something very close to the original box. And it's refreshingly new enough to get us excited about it because, in the Hellraiser universe, right? I mean, in the comic books and stuff, there were countless boxes that had different designs. They really went all out when they made more stuff like that. And it was cool to see different boxes, the Trinity configuration, the whatever, And I always wanted to see more of that stuff in the movies. I want to see different Cenobites, which they kind of did, but I also wanted to see different boxes, different configurations, Even in the novella, they say that there's other different places that didn't even have to be boxes, like a origami configuration held in the Vatican that could open doors and stuff like that.
Yeah. And that was explored a lot in the comics.
Yeah, for sure. But I'm really excited. She's a very beautiful actress. She has a very interesting face, blonde, blue-eyed, very good face structure there. I don't know if she's going to have the hair or not, so I guess we'll have to wait and see. But she definitely has a very mesmerizing gaze, I think.
Yeah, I mean, this is big news, but it's also in a way kind of a tease because you if they finish shooting, you would kind of expect sometime soon to see some kind of image of her as the character.
I guess they will eventually release something as they progress with the campaign for the movie. Right now, I think they just really finished the shooting, so they have to go into post-production. I'm not sure how that's going to last. The IMDb page for this movie is putting it at a 2022 release year, so I guess we don't know exactly what quarter of the year that's going to come, but I would hazard a guess of like maybe the third quarter of 2022.
To put it out in time for Halloween.
Yeah. I don't know if by that time Halloween Ends will come out as well, but it might be a hard competitor since we're going to have Halloween Kills this year. I don't know when Halloween Ends is going to come out. Maybe not next year, though. Maybe it's going to take a little while longer. So that's cool.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting now that we're getting all this news about this one. I wonder if the HBO series is going to start putting out some news to compete. It's weird to see competing Hellraiser projects, right? This is pretty unprecedented.
Yeah. For years, we starved and hungered for more Hellraiser stuff. And now we can't get enough.
I know, and this is like a major, we've got a major director involved. This is a big deal, this movie. And, seeing the negative comments, one guy, I think he posted it on the Hellraiser Movie Official, said something like, this is going to make the last two Hellraiser movies look like masterpieces. And I'm like, come on, those movies had like a $200,000 budget.
Yeah, come on, man. That's just knee-jerk reactions. That's fine. Yeah. I don't need to convince those fans because whatever. You can't force people to watch the movie. But I'm going to watch it for sure.
And I think if they hear enough good stuff about it, they'll probably go watch it. They'll probably watch it too.
I got a good feeling about this one.
Yeah. The bad thing, though, is that it being on Hulu means if it's like Book of Blood, it's going to come only to North America, and then it'll be like a year before they put it on like Disney Plus for the UK and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's what happened. And actually, that's also in our news. Is that Books of Blood is coming to Disney Plus in UK, Ireland sometime in the near future.
So this is the part where I want to do like I'm going to tear Dread Central a new one because when the Illuminati back in like June said something about Odessa Azion is going to be Riley on the lead character in the next Hellraiser, and she's going to be an analogous character to Kirsty. And that also that the Pinhead would be a gender swapped version of Pinhead. Yeah. And then, even though it didn't say anything about Odessa being Pinhead, Dread Central ran with that in a completely different way, and they said that that Odessa Zion was going to be Riley, and the iconic equivalent of Doug Bradley's antagonist. Let me find the actual quote, because I don't want to correct anybody without saying the actual the actual thing. It says here,
and on our episode 320, Riley the Cenobite, we were totally ripping on this article because at the time we said this doesn't make any sense. You're not reporting it right, and the frustrating thing was it was getting reblogged all over the place.
Right. So here it is. Dread Central, September 6, 2021, written by Max Weinstein. Again, don't trust anybody called Weinstein. It says, Dread Central reported in June that Azion was cast as Riley, the lead in the film, who will be a gender-swapped reinvention of Doug Bradley's iconic antagonist, Pinhead. That is so wrong.
It's lazy. I mean, this is probably somebody that's like, I got like 5 horror articles that I need to write.
And so many people ran with this crap. They were saying, Odessa Azion, she's going to be Pinhead. She's too cute to be Pinhead, blah, blah, blah. Even people attached to the first original movies were sharing the stuff saying, looks like we got our new Pinhead. And it's like, no, she's just Riley. She's not the new Pinhead. And so now finally we know Jamie Clayton.
Our last news episode was jokingly called Riley the Cenobite, because we're making fun of the fact that why would she be called Riley and be the lead Cenobite? And they also said that they also were 2 separate stories, and it didn't make any sense. So we were joking about that, but people took our thing at face value and like, hey, didn't you guys also report this? Like, no, you got to listen to the podcast.
That'll teach you to listen to it. Don't just go by the title. Well, it's easy to share stuff just by reading the headline and just sharing it, but you really got to read that stuff.
And these news bloggers should know better. I mean, they're scanning stuff instead of really reading it.
Well, that happens when you eventually get paid by the letter. But,
yeah, and so it was just not nonsense. I mean,
yeah, she's not Riley and Pinhead. She's just Riley, and there was going to be a gender swapped Hell Priest, which now we know is played by Jamie Clayton.
She's the lead human character. Presumably. Right.
They didn't even go back and fix it. It's still like that on the article. So. Dread Central, fix your shit.
Well, and then like Mr. H, it was the same deal. I know people love his crap too.
It's whatever. People are going to listen to the things they want to listen to. But, it seems like the Hellraiser movie is moving forward and faster than I expected. And I'm really excited about it.
Yeah. So you think it's going to be next year. They're not going to get it out because if they just finished filming, there's no way they're going to get this thing out in time for Halloween. Yeah.
And it says here on the Deadline article that, through 4 movies released between 1987 to 1996, the Hellraiser movies have grossed just under $50 million, but have been long cult titles for genre fans. 6 more features were created for the home market, with the franchise extending to graphic novels and merchandise. And it's like, can you believe the first 4 movies only made $50 million? I know it's even from the 80s until the mid-90s, but even then it seems really low. I wonder how much money this new Hellraiser is going to make. I guess we'll never know because it's going to be exclusive to Hulu, so we don't have any box office. And it does say here that it will be released exclusively on the Hulu platform. But
that part is unfortunate. I think mainly just because it's not available to the international market right away.
I would just love to be able to see this in a big screen.
Yeah.
I hope that they eventually do like a limited theatrical run, but don't quote me on that.
Yeah, well, limited means that I'll never get to go to it.
Yeah. It won't get to Fairbanks.
No. Yeah, so there's a bunch of articles. It looks like they're getting things right now, which is good, but they're not acknowledging the fact that they, some of these blogs really messed up the last time.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. And then there was an article, it's kind of more of an interview with David Bruckner, talking about all of the projects that he's worked on, and at the end he talks about Hellraiser a little bit. And so that's kind of nice. It's a lot of it is about the Nighthouse, which I've heard a lot of good things about, right? And these people are saying that it's like Hellraiser inspired. And in the article, he says he didn't think so at the time, but people are telling him that it is. So that's probably worth taking a look at. I haven't seen it.
I had to watch it too. I don't think I've seen the Nighthouse, but this interview was in the Nerdist, right? The Nerdist website.
Yeah, exactly. And it talks about how he did plays and movies at the same time. Right.
And apparently that Ben Collins and Luke had pitched on Hellraiser way back. So they had a pitch for Hellraiser that never come through.
Yeah.
I wonder if we have this in our bunch of pitches for Hellraiser that we had. I had to go back and look at those. I don't think so.
Oh, that's interesting.
One of those treatments that we had.
Boy, we sure read a lot of really stinkers for treatments.
And most of them, remember, had some sort of like secret order that people would have very obvious tattoos of the lament configuration in their bodies.
Yeah.
So much for being secret.
And they were all about like some professor inviting a bunch of teenagers over to their house.
Or trying to put Hitler's soul in a baby or something.
Oh, God. In a toddler, yeah.
In a toddler? I don't know, man. There were some really stinkers.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell those guys were smoking.
Yeah. I'm glad that this is something fresh, I hope.
We should revisit those treatments back when Hellraiser comes out, and just to see how bad they were.
Our listenership doubles for every episode that has the word Hellraiser in the title.
Oh, now I'm curious. Do you know the numbers of the episodes where we discuss those treatments? I have to look that up. Go check out episode 118, where we joined Max Lichter and we started discussing some of those treatments. There's also episode 122 was cramming Hitler's heart in a toddler. From 2010, a treatment. So back then we were still talking about Hellraiser Judgment was coming out. But check those episodes out, 118, 119, and further from that. The ones we did with Max Lichter, I think we were discussing those treatments.
Yeah.
Patrick Lussier and, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, and a bunch of crazy stuff that never saw the light of day, and you're like, oh, man, I'm glad they didn't make that.
Yeah, so that's the big news for Hellraiser fans.
Yeah.
I think it's looking forward to see what's going to come out of this.
Also, in another quick news, Daniel Sarah won the British Fantasy Award.
Hey, congrats! So I congratulated him on Facebook.
People will know him from the covers of the Hellraiser anthology books.
Yeah,
and he's also painted Candyman and Nightbreed. He's great. He's been an awesome artist. He
also did the covers for some of Barbie Wilde's books, right? The Venus Complex.
Right.
Yeah. A lot of good stuff. I'm very happy that he won that award.
There's kind of a nightmarish quality to his paintings.
Absolutely. It's beautiful. I love seeing him post pictures of his work. It's just amazing. The Books of Blood, right, is finally coming to Disney Plus in UK and Ireland.
Yeah, and so, the big takeaway there is that for the people that are in other countries can finally see it, because Hulu is only in North America. So, and Disney owns Hulu. I wish they would just do that simultaneously instead of waiting a year to do it. But
isn't it weird though to have Books of Blood on Disney Plus. That's pretty weird.
Yeah. I mean,
imagine a kid scrolling through them.
Maybe people in other countries aren't so precious about what Disney means, to them.
Sure. Why not?
Right. I mean, most people know that Disney owns just about everything in entertainment. So it's kind of like, there's also Disney also owns the moment when Anakin Skywalker got all his arms and legs burned off in a lava.
Yeah. Good times.
Yeah. So also, watch out for Jose's Halloween special where you read your story Diaspora, right?
Yeah.
You made an audio production of that, which was we put it out kind of late in the night in the middle of this week as we're recording this. Right
on. Yeah, I had a lot of fun. That was one of the rejected stories for Midian Unmade. Yeah, so I tried. I didn't make it. I didn't make the cut. And they only had, I think, 5 or 6 slots for fan-made stories. But yeah, years after the fact, I just recorded it, put music on it, a little background stuff, and go check it out.
It's in the podcast feed, or you can go find it on our YouTube channel, or you can, go to our blog at clivebarkercast.com and listen to it there if you want to.
And YouTube, I think it's got, when did you put it up? Like a couple of days ago?
Yeah.
24 views, but, it is what it is. Go check it out. Our first Halloween special.
Yeah.
We're going to have a few more. One of them is going to be really special, and stay tuned for those.
And Clive Barker had his birthday this week. Happy belated birthday, Clive Barker.
Yay.
It's easy for me to remember because it's also my brother Rob's birthday, and you might know him from being the voice of technical production in our Jericho Squad episodes. Every once in a while you'll hear him.
He's the Wizard of Oz behind the curtain, making things happen.
I'm trying to talk him into doing one of the NPCs for this coming one next weekend, but so far I'm not making any headway.
Nice.
So we'll see. Yeah.
And Clive turned 69.
Oh,
nice.
There we go. Yeah, he's also the same age as my mom because she was born in the same year as him, and my brother has his birthday.
Wow.
So it makes it easy to remember.
Absolutely. So there you go. Happy birthday, Clive. We wished you a happy birthday from the BarkerCast Facebook page. And a lot of interesting people on Facebook have also been sending Clyde Barker their best birthday wishes. So I hope you had a good day.
Yeah. Coming next, we'll be doing more A to Z commentaries. Night of the Living Dead is actually going to come out just in a few days from this episode. And then we just recorded the commentary for A to Z of Horror, Q for Quiet Men with The Raven, the Roger Corman movie with Ed and Nina. That was fun.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah. And then we got Jericho Squad 77 coming next week. Illustrator 2 we're hoping to do soon. We just need to put that together. And our Halloween special. Well, our Halloween episode. We're going to do a dedicated Halloween episode. And we also have some intermittent throughout the month of October, like the one we just talked about with your story. I'm going to do my story. And we've got another one that's more of a secret.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah.
It's the spooky month of October, and we're going all out.
Yeah. I am spooked.
And this podcast, having no beginning, will have no end. And happy birthday, Clive.
Yeah. Thank you for joining us, and we hope you have subscribed. You can find the Clive Barker podcast wherever you find audio. Show notes for this episode, as well as news and reviews, can be found at our website at www.clivebarkercast.com. The Clive Barker Podcast, or BarkerCast, is an independent editorial podcast and blog that is not affiliated with or under contract by Clive Barker or Seraphim Inc. This is a labor of love by the fans for the fans. Watch for our annual Kickstarter fundraisers to get some cool stuff, and you can buy t-shirts on our TeePublic store. Go to tpublic.com and search for BarkerCast.
Thanks for listening.